Hey, how we doing on this Tuesday morning? This is Frank, House of Orange Sports Channel. Portal season, it's hot and heavy right now. I'm recording this on Monday night, uploading it today, 6 a.m. Then it's going up. Make sure you hit the like, the share. If you have not already, like the content, you want those notifications, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for your support on this. Tennessee basketball talked about last night. Jacoby Gillespie from Maryland, officially in the portal from nearby Greenville, Tennessee. Got to think Tennessee's going to be a big time player in that recruitment. But one in the more immediate future that we're looking at is today, and could be a big one. Tennessee's hosting former Virginia guard Isaac McKneely out of the portal. He visited Louisville this past weekend. He wrapped up that visit. He comes to Knoxville today. I've not seen if it's a case where he stays overnight or where he may get there early and leave later. But Pete Nakos on 3 Sports did have an article. He did predict McKneely to Tennessee. He put a low confidence on that, as some of them, I think it's him, maybe it's Tipton, Joe Tipton, the other guy who does, or Jeff. I'm blanking out right now on this. But anyhow, they've talked about this. They've talked about McKneely. Tennessee's come on. They really want him there. Can Tennessee finish the deal, get their first portal commit for this offseason? This could be a big one here. If you get him, if you get Gillespie, you've got your back court. But I don't think you can stop there. Tennessee has proven they can go with 7 or 8 deep and be okay. But I still think you need as many scores as you can get, because they could have, depending on the scholarship limit here, anywhere from 6 to 8 positions open in that portal. And you can almost guarantee they do not take those with them this time around, as they had 2 scholarships they didn't fill this past season, and it come back to bite them in the end, because they could have used that somewhere. But, along the way too, with point guard, who's going to want to come in and play minimal minutes behind Zakai Ziegler? Well, there's pretty much wide open minutes on this team. I think any position there could be wide open minutes. Para, Estrella, Phillips, they're going to have roles. You hope Boswell improves a lot from year 1 to year 2, and I think it's possible that he does. But still, yet your 3 freshmen coming in, how much are they going to contribute next year? I think a lot of that depends on their work ethic. A lot of that depends on how they develop when they get there in the summer. How are you developing in the weight room? What is your attention to detail in terms of the playbook, defensively and offensively? There's a lot for these freshmen to kind of get down pat to where they're a key contributor on the roster. And we've just not seen that much the last few years, a freshman making a big difference for this team. But now you look at it. Rick Barnes' team seems to be thriving with this portal. Here, to me, is the first big test for them. What kind of money is Louisville paying? Because let's face it, these guys hitting the portal, number one, they want a better opportunity. Number two, and rightfully so, they want to get paid here. Louisville hits the portal pretty hard. Tennessee going to be hitting the portal pretty hard. And from everything I'm reading, according to Nakos of On 3, and I think Tipton has said it as well, it looks like this one is a Tennessee-Louisville battle. So can Tennessee finish the deal today with Isaac McKneely, or whether it goes into tomorrow? They're saying that they expect a decision soon after this visit. I think you got to like Tennessee's chances of getting that last visit, being able to close the door, and especially if the Deacon, if he's taken and which I fully expect he is very hands-on in this one. I'm expecting Tennessee to close the door on this one, whether it's, again, today or tomorrow, and get their first commitment, which would be a good one. Spot-up shooter. He played some point guard. He's listed as a combo guard. To me, I think he'll thrive better off the ball, but he can handle the ball at the same time. Looking at his stats this year at Virginia, 14.4 points per game, up a look right at 2 points per game, 2.1 points per game from the previous season, 2.7 boards, 2.9 assists, 43.9 field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, he was 42.1%. He actually dropped a little bit in all those numbers except his scoring. But, too, Virginia was pretty bad this year, and I wonder how much of that had to do with Tony Bennett retiring as late as he did as well. But McKneely is listed pretty much. The consensus is he's one of the top players in the portal, and this would be a great start for this Tennessee team. Based on what I'm looking at, I could be wrong on this. It looks to me like you have 1 year remaining, and that would be the same with he and Jacoby Gillespie as well. You get your backcourt in, a veteran group. McKneely has played in the NCAA tournament. Of course, Gillespie just went to a Sweet 16 as well. This would be a great start. And of course, there's going to be lots of names out there. There's other guys going to be trying to set up visits. There's names being thrown out, wings, big men. So this Tennessee team's going in on a little bit of, it looks to me like they're seeing that they can improve at all levels. And I agree on that. I think, a big thing is your 4 returners. They've got to make tremendous improvements. All those guys need to develop some offensive game. And that's the key to me. If Rick Barnes and this squad are going to get over that hump of the Elite Eight, they've got to go more offensive oriented. And I get, a calling card for Rick Barnes is going to be defense. But we're seeing now, that defense gets you so far. If you don't have the offense to back it up, and it's been the same story 4 straight years of going out. It was that way yesterday again, or 2 days ago against Houston. It was that way last year against Purdue. It was that way 2 years ago against FAU in Madison Square Garden. It was that way 3 years ago against Michigan in the round of 32. The key thing in each of those games against Michigan, Kennedy Chandler was pretty much your offense. FAU, nobody had over 10 points in that game. Multiple guys had 10 points. There were some around, at 7, 8, 9, 10 points that it wasn't good enough. Shooting percentage was horrible that night. Against Purdue, Dalton Connect went off, got really pretty much no more help. Josiah Jordan James a little, but that was about it. Yesterday, Gainey and Lanier went for 17, but Lanier, he couldn't buy one to start off. Gainey kind of started taking them back, but every time they would make a little bit of a move, Houston would answer with it. Just too much from Houston, not enough from Tennessee. So if this team's going to get over the hump, I think you've got to start. You what's the words I'm looking for here? One-dimensional guys. At times you see 3 dudes on there that's basically not a threat offensively unless you leave them wide open under the basket. For Tennessee to get over that hump, to get to a Final Four and maybe beyond, you can't have that. Everybody's got to be some kind of a threat offensively, because if you only have 2 guys that are threats offensively, these teams can key on it. They can't just leave these other dudes wide open, but if these dudes are out on the perimeter, you can leave them out there all day long. You just can't give them a lane for it. So I think Barnes will evolve with that. I think he's starting to see that as his philosophy changes. But I'm going to be curious to see how he attacks this portal, because there's no Meshack coming back. There's no Zakai Ziegler coming back. 2 guys who's played a lot of ball down there. Ziegler, one of the greatest point guards in program history. Meshack, a really great volunteer. And I've seen it said his contributions don't show up on the stat sheet as to what he did. But he was a great vol down there. You have to replace those guys to go along with Gainey, Lanier, Dubar, Milicic as well. You've got a chance to make a better, more well-rounded offensive team here. Defensively, Barnes can teach defense. He can do that. Offense, you can't teach. If a guy can't shoot, a guy can't shoot. You can take a shooter and make him play defense. You can't take a one-dimensional defensive guy and make him an offensive juggernaut. You can't. So McKneely would be a phenomenal start. If they can get Gillespie in, which a lot of people are predicting, that's 2 really good shooters that you're going to have in your backcourt. Now, how's it translate over to SEC play? That's another question. But these guys have done it on big stages. You got to think they would be able to transition to this style of play and this style of league as well. A lot of content last night talking about Gillespie. Had some Lady Vols coaching news and portal stuff as well. Anything portal-wise that's out there right now, I'll bring it to you later on today. But you guys have a great rest of your day. This is Frank. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel. Make sure you check out the link in the description for the channel memberships, for the channel Patreon for as little as $1 a month, or if you want to say thanks, bottom right-hand corner, those super thanks, they are greatly appreciated here as well. But once again, have a great rest of your day. And last but not least, go Vols.